If any of you have children, you know the difference between I am and I will. They have chores or homework you want them to get done, and when you and then you ask them, did you do what I asked you to do? And they say either I will or I am. And you know which one you want to hear. I wanted to be a boxer from the time I was 7 years old. I hit the speed bag every night. I joined the Navy because the recruiter told me that I could box in boot camp. He lied. I did box in Memphis, Tennessee, and in Pensacola. And I was an airman in Navy, an E3, the low man on the totem pole. I was an electronics technician working on flight simulators on midnight shift. Every Sunday night, I had to sweep, mop, wax, and buff the floors. It would take all night. I had just won my first boxing tournament in Mississippi. I fought 4 times that weekend and I won. Here I was, buffing the hallways all night, and it occurred to me that I no longer had to say I wanted to be a boxer. I was a boxer. Instead of saying I will be a boxer, I could say I am a boxer. Prior to that night, I'd lost 10 of my first 12 fights, and the next year I beat everyone that beat me the year before. Then I was told, go to the SEAL teams. They'll send you to the Navy box team. I had I will in red grease pencil on my mirror in my locker. And I'd look at it every morning, and that would set the focus for my day. I had gone to BUD/S, Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL training already. Didn't make it. I caught pneumonia, and I got dropped halfway through training for performance. So I knew what to expect. And I lived my experience in BUD/S and Hell Week every day for 20 months. I prepared my life and every activity towards making it through Navy SEAL training and BUD/S and Hell Week. I reapplied 7 times before they let me back in. I knew if I could make it through Wednesday without getting hurt, that they weren't going to be able to get me out of there with a gun. And if they did, they better be faster than me, right? I discovered a lot of things on accident. I had a boxing student that was going through AOCS that used to wrestle in college. He had a broken right arm at the elbow. He couldn't straighten his arm out. And I taught him how to be a southpaw and throw a right hook. And he ended up knocking out his opponent in the Brigade Smoker in 30 seconds using that technique. He was a walk-on the All-Navy wrestling team. And he had a degree in psychology. I would see him in the racquetball court with all the Navy wrestlers, turn the lights down. He would do a group hypnosis. He'd have them think through the way they would be in their next match. And then I went back to BUD/S, and the last night before the beginning of the first day of regular training, my roommates and I went to Winn-Dixie to pick up Gatorade, granola, laundry detergent, the essentials. I saw a cassette tape in the checkout line, said self-hypnosis. I grabbed it, and it was the voice of Dr. Dennis Waitley, the author and speaker who wrote Seeds of Greatness and Psychology of Winning. I put it in the cassette player in my boombox, and we would listen to that every night. It was his voice talking through relaxation from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet with the waves crashing in the background. I would think myself through the obstacle course in my mind all night. The first time we ran the obstacle course, I was the second fastest in my class, and I was the fastest in my class after that. After the second time, nobody could beat me. Right? I remained the fastest in the class all the way through training. I utilized this technique running the Air Operations Department for 3 years while stationed in Panama. I controlled every aspect of air operations for Navy SEALs in all Central and South America for 3 years, seeds to nuts, scheduling the aircraft for static line and free fall parachuting, fast roping, spy rigging, rappelling, briefing the pilots and the SEAL platoons, the drop zone crews, maintaining the equipment, spotting the jumps, did it all, right? When I left Panama, they had to assign 3 chiefs and a first-class petty officer to do what I did all by myself. Before I left my parachute loft, every day I would write down in my planner everything I wanted to accomplish for the next day. I would write out my tasks in order of priority. I'd leave a space in between in case a task popped up, and I just plug it in order of priority, and I would just work my list. Then when I got into the mortgage and real estate business, I applied the same strategies, and by myself, I averaged $200,000 a year for 4 years on my own pen. If you want to achieve your goals, you need to have a burning desire for something. It helps to have a plan and stick to it, but most importantly, to see yourself achieving that goal. Act as if you have it, achieved it, and so when you say, I am, you know it in your heart. I didn't realize when I did these things, but there is a mechanism in your brain that grabs a hold of a desire. If it is strong enough, it causes you to hunt for the closest path towards your goal. Even if you're in beta brainwaves, which limits your ability to acquire new knowledge to help you out of your situation when you're in stress, it will cause you to hunt the shortest path towards your desired goals as if you're an automatic. You can't help but succeed if your desire is strong enough.